All right, so basically, I have three images here. Two images are basically JPEG. All right, and this one is from Illustrator file. I open it from Photoshop, and I'm going to convert this as GIF. And this is normal images. All right, I just want to show you the difference between before you optimize an image and after you have optimized the image. All right, as you can see, this image is taken from my camera. The file size now is 2.1 megabyte. And then another images by Ms. Jinchi's article, the original image size is 13.8 megabyte. It's quite big. All right, the third image is it's quite small because it is created in Illustrator. So yeah, we can still have the same file size, or maybe we can reduce the file size. Let's check. All right. So before you want to optimize the image, or before you want to convert or save this as for web, you need to make sure that the file is in RGB mode. Okay, not CMYK. Again, why? Because CMYK is for printing, RGB is for screen use. Okay, so once you open the file, make sure you check the image size. Right, at the moment the image size is 4032 pixel by 3024 pixel. It's quite big, but the resolution is okay. It's meant for web. What you can do, you can reduce the size. What happens if you do not change the size? Okay, when you add the image in your HTML file, the file will appear, the image will be so big in your HTML file. All right, what you can do, you can reduce the file to 1024. All right, 1024. All right, but then it depends. If you want to make the background as a background, if you want to make the image as a background image, you can have the width of 4000 pixels and above, because you want to have a huge image, right, for your background. But if you want to use the image as part of the content, I would suggest that you reduce the size to probably the biggest is 10024 times 768. All right. Okay, then click OK. All right, don't worry, this is not the actual size. This is the actual. I don't know why when I reduce the size in Photoshop, it looks smaller, but when I add the image in HTML file, the file looks okay. All right, but don't worry about the size now. I think 1024 is quite big. I think because of my screen resolution. All right, so once you've changed the size, you need to go to File, Export, and then choose Save for Web. Okay, so this is the original file size. As you can see now, currently the file size is 2.25 megabyte. But if, let's say right now the format is wrong, you need to change the format to JPEG. Okay, make sure you change the format to JPEG. All right. You don't have to change anything here. Probably you want to change the quality of the image. Okay, if the file is too big, at the moment now the file size is 588.6 kilobyte, which I think is okay, small. It'll take about 107 seconds to load the file. 107 seconds to load the file. But if you're using a 56.6 kilobyte per second internet connection, okay, I don't know whether any of you still using that connection. I don't think so, right? I think most of you using the fastest, I think now it's 50 megabyte per second, if I'm not mistaken. Electricity problem. She will come back soon. Okay. All right. Sorry, Jen. to hear about your predicament. Okay, never mind, I'm going to continue. All right, so most people now around the world are using a very fast internet connection. All right, let me check my internet connection today. So my internet connection today is not as fast as Mr. Vinod's. Okay, keep on increasing. Okay, getting faster now. Oh, it's a bit slow as compared to the rest. Now it's 7.9 megabyte per second. It's relatively slow. Huh? I don't know why today. All right, never mind. All right, so let's go back. The reason why, because it indicates here, if the file size is 588.6 kilobyte, it will take about 4 seconds to load when you have a 2 megabyte per second internet connection, which I feel it's quite fast. Okay, so once you've confirmed with the file size and the quality, you can even reduce the quality to maybe 60%. Although the quality is 60%, but it will not have that much difference. Okay, this is the original image. This is what happens if you optimize the image. So the quality is almost the same, but probably you lose some data on the image, but that's okay, it's fine. Because you want to have like, see now it becomes 163.5 kilobyte. The file size now have been reduced. So if you're okay with that, but if you want to maintain with the 100% quality, it's up to you. It's maximum, and the file size is still big. It's still okay, consider okay. Then you click save, and make sure after you have optimized or compressed your image, you need to save the image into your working folder. Meaning that all the assets, all the image that you want to use for your web project should be saved in the same folder. In my case, I have my previous exercise here. Sorry, not here. Okay, this is my previous exercise that I did last week. What you can do now, you can include a new folder into that main folder. So I'm going to name this folder as images, create, and then I'm going to rename the image. All right. So when you want to name your image, make sure that you use lowercase. All right. So I'm going to normally I'm going to save any image starting with img. Okay, this is what we call a file naming convention. You don't simply type your name yada yada blah blah blah. Okay, or untitled. Please don't use untitled. It's difficult for you to find your image later. All right, so basically when you name your file or your image, make sure you understand that file name. So basically I'm going to name this as img underscore class discussion. Okay, if you have more than one word as your file name, make sure you separate those words using underscore. Okay, class discussion. Okay, but if you have more than one image using the same name, for example, what you can do, you can use numbers at the end. Right? Do not use symbols like this to differentiate all the images. It's basically most browsers does not support those symbols. It could give different indication. So make sure that you use numbers, dash, underscores. Do not use space bar. Okay, what happened if you use space bar? There will be a broken link later. All right, so once you confirm with the name, you click save. All right, done. Okay, and then another option that you can save for your image is basically if you have an image like this, a graphic, a logo that doesn't have too much color in it. So basically a flat graphic like this, you may save this as either GIF or PNG. All right, so I'm going to save this as GIF because I have only 2 colors. So again, make sure that you check the image size because I'm going to treat this as a logo. So as a logo, it shouldn't be too big. So probably the size, the width could go up to 200 pixel. But just to be safe, just to be on the safe side, you can afford to save this as 500 pixel. But later in your HTML document, you still can reduce the size by changing the width and height value. Okay, right. So I'm going to save this with the 500 width. Though make sure that whenever you reduce the size, make sure that you click this icon, the chain icon. Make sure it stays proportion. All right. If you uncheck that, what happen is your picture will become distorted. So make sure you click it. But by default, it is check or click or activate. All right. So click OK. All right. Then go to File. Okay. This is the actual size. Go to File, Export, Save for Web, and then make sure you change the format to GIF. All right. You can change the color. So the maximum color you have is the maximum color that GIF support is only 256 colors. That's all. Okay, so highlight the highest number. All right, so that don't check transparency. Otherwise, your whatever, if you check transparency, whatever that is white, it's considered as transparency, but not in this case because I have fill color. Okay, you don't have to check transparency. So once you've confirmed with the size, okay, if you reduce the color, all right, if you reduce the color, you will reduce the file size. Okay, now it's 5.93 kilobyte. I think it's very small. It'll take you about 1 second to load when you use 2 megabyte per second internet connection. So I'm going to stick with, then the quality is not that good. It's quite okay also. So yeah, maybe I'm going to change to maybe 32. All right, still okay? All right, so I'm confirmed with this, the value of the colors. And then also I'm okay with the file size, and then click save. Okay, again, I already named that file. I'm gonna name it as KB logo. Again, I told you not to use uppercase. All right, KB stands for Creative Bits. Okay, KB logo. Click save, then you're done. Okay, so that is how you optimize your image. All right. So how to add an image in your file document. All right, let me show you. I'm going to use Dreamweaver. I'm going to use Dreamweaver. So I'm going to open the file that I've created last week. So basically, Dreamweaver is another way of creating a HTML document. All right, it's considered as what you see is what you get HTML editor, because you can see what happened immediately without having to open it from browser. Okay, I'll show you now. So I'm going to open the file. So the file is on my desktop. Okay, this is the file. So when you open it, what happened to my file? Oh, crap. That's a problem with the file. Okay, never mind. I'm trying to find another file. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Okay, never mind. I'm going to open another file, right, where I have done previously. Looking for a file. Looking. Okay, wait. Okay lah, let's see lah. I'm gonna open this file. Obviously, I have done a lot in this file. Nope. Okay, this file is too complex. Wait, sorry guys. Did I choose the same file? No. Wait. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna create another file. I'm gonna create a new file. I'm gonna create a new file. Okay. So to create a new file in Dreamweaver, you go to File, choose New. Okay, make sure you choose HTML file. So the doc type is HTML. Okay, when you create a file in Dreamweaver, it is much more complete. Okay. When I say complete, because you also indicate the doc type, which is HTML, and automatically Dreamweaver will type for you all the necessary HTML tags, which is HTML, the head section, meta, char set meaning. Remember when you save your text edit file with you need to specify the character set, which is UTF-8. You also have it here, and you can also add other meta words in your document. I'm not going to do today. All right, and you also have title. So I'm going to change this title. My web document. All right, and then you also have body. All right, the difference between a notepad and Dreamweaver is basically there's a lot. All right, so first thing you notice that when I select one HTML element in the document, it will highlight the opening tag and the closing tag. Okay. All right. So it could also highlight whether your file, whether your file have an error or not. All right. So let me save this file first. I'm going to save this file as, again, index. I'm going to save it in the same location, on the same folder. I'm going to replace the file. Okay, I think because there's a problem with the file. Save and replace the file. All right. So now, after I've saved the file, I've deleted the closing tag of the body, right? So what happened is, Dreamweaver will tell you there's one error, all right? And also indicate where the error is in the output panel. So you double click, okay? It says that tag must be paired, missing closing body. Okay, start match failed. Okay, so in line 8. So where line 8? This is line 8. So you need to include the closing tag. All right. Another advantage of using Dreamweaver is whenever you want to include a new HTML tag, okay, you will have all sorts of all the listed HTML tag that you may want to use by scrolling down. All right. Probably I want to use H1, for example. Okay, then if I type the closing tag, okay, automatically Dreamweaver will type for you the closing tag. So the reason why they do this is because they want to reduce error. So if you save the file, so now on the, call it, what we call this, I can't remember the name, the term, you will see there's a green tick at the bottom of the window, indicates that there's no error in the file. All right. So if you add the content, start here, my first website. All right. So you can see the result immediately. You don't have to preview the site, or you don't have to open your file in a browser. You can see what happened. So that's why we call this HTML editor as what you see is what you get, HTML editor. Okay, you have 3 different views. If you look on top of the window, you have 3 different views. Code, split, you can see both what happened and the code view, and you can also see design view. You can also change the design view to live view. Live view is basically what you will see you will indicate also what kind of element that you've used. So obviously now H1 is a block element. So in Dreamweaver, it can tell, it shows that it is a block element by indicating or by adding the border. All right. Okay. I don't normally open design view. I normally use code view. All right. So how to add an image in your HTML file? Very simple. Okay. You add the img tag, spacebar, right? Type the attribute, which is source. And then when you type the source and you press return automatically, right? Sorry, I need to mute first. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, let me continue. Okay, right. Sorry. So when you type src and you press return, Dreamweaver will help you to type the rest of the code. Meaning that Dreamweaver will add for you the equal symbol and also the double quotation mark. So that is where you need to add the location of the file. All right. So what you can do, you can just browse. You don't have to remember the file name, but what you can do, you can browse. Since I've saved the file in the same folder, right? So automatically it will direct you to the folder that you've used in the for the HTML file. So you can select the file. I'm gonna choose this as my image. Click open. All right. Now you see, it will add for you the URL or the path of the file. So it says here that my file is from images folder. The first name here is basically indicating the folder name. The second name is basically indicating the image name. Then you need to close it with the closing angle bracket. Then you press save. And you can see the result here. Again, this is 1024 times 768. I think the file size is the width and height is okay. All right. You can also indicate width 1024. You don't have to include px. And height 768. But this is optional. It's not necessary. Okay, I just want to show you what you could do, what you can add in your image tag. And next is you can also add an alt or alternate. All right, you can name this an alternate or alt is basically an attribute to describe about the image. Discussion during my interactive class, design class. The value for your alt can be anything, right? It doesn't, again, any attribute doesn't affect the appearance of your content when you open it in browser. All right, so once you have that, let me check the chat. Yeah, correct. Kayi, very good question. Kayi asks if I change the location of the image to another folder. Okay, let me show you what happened. Okay, for example, in this file, I've indicated that the image here, I got it from this folder, right? So what happened if I move the image away from the folder? Okay, let's say I've accidentally moved this image away from the folder. So, but I did not change it here. So what happened is, if I preview this, if I preview the file, so if you want to preview the file, you can go to File, Real-Time Preview. You can choose any browser. So by default, the list of the browser will exactly will follow what you've set for your default browser that you use in your computer. So I use the Google Chrome. Okay. Now you see, this is a broken link, meaning that the file is no longer in the folder. All right, but the moment I move back the file into the folder, all right, now the file is inside the folder. Save this file. If I refresh my browser, now I can see my image appear in my browser. So when you hover the image, you can't see the tooltip because you need to use another attributes. Okay, alternate is basically just to indicate whenever there is a broken link. All right, but what you can add in your image is you can add another attribute called title. Okay, you can use the same description from your alt and paste it in your title, doesn't matter. So when I hover my image, you can see the tooltip. Okay, for example, if you use Internet Explorer, okay, if you add an alt, you will see the tooltip without having to add the title. But in modern browser like Chrome, Safari, and also Mozilla Firefox, you need to add the attribute, title attribute, so that you can see the tooltip. Okay, so far clear. I'm gonna stop recording.